Should be rolling, double checking. We are live and on the air. So welcome everyone to the Foolish Tech Show. It is a lovely Tuesday morning and we are here mainly to provide support and answer any questions about our products and services. If you would like to interrupt whatever else we're talking about in the meantime, feel free to jump over to foolishtechshow.com. We have a couple ways you can join our IRC chat from there and talk directly to us. So we do not monitor YouTube comments or anywhere else during the show. So if you want to talk to us, make sure you join our IRC chat and we'll be happy to talk about whatever you'd like to talk about in there. Otherwise, how is everyone doing this morning?
Yay, doing pretty well. I hope everyone else is too.
Pretty awesome.
I am personally, but I think the world is going to crap. I think the whole Syria situation and Russia, I think that's World War III starting up right there. But
yeah, so you meant everybody like in the chat.
Yeah, I think you need like the rest of the world for that to happen too. So, no need to get into too deep there. But okay. So otherwise, I thought you were gonna go right off onto the Haitian thing.
The storm.
I thought he was going with that too.
The storm is more pressing for us in a more immediate sense, I suppose, certainly. But so was there something else in Haiti that happened?
No, it's Matthew is hitting landfall.
Thanks, there. Proctor. Thanks, Proctor.
Category 4, and Nick, like now that I know about the Flat Earth Society, more and more NASA pictures kind of look like, oh, they just did that for the Flat Earth Society.
Which one?
Like if you look at I don't care which one. I'm just saying that
there's two of them.
Lying. Yeah. Well, then there's a whole nother place that also thinks NASA's lying, which is the New Age people. Which actually, I thought you might be interested in that too. They're into all the lucid dreaming and things like that. Actually, they had a really good episode about the history of the world, which was like probably one of the most believable histories of the world, I felt.
You know, I did a lucid dreaming. A long time ago, BBS days, I found a fact somewhere on a BBS about lucid dreaming. I think Lars was in the name of it. And there was something else that I got from the some accompanying material. And after studying that and practicing, seriously, I was able to control my dreams. I've always been, pretty much now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are different levels of that, where some of it is just, crap. But
well, yeah, the history one kind of ran rampant there, but I thought it was pretty interesting as far as the creation of Earth and beginnings and all that stuff. Like they focus on consciousness and things like that and higher levels. Trying to see if I can find that video. Here we go, human history. I think this is the one. I'm not sure, but check into this channel because it is interesting, and they focus on enlightenment and bettering yourself. And lucid dreaming was one of their videos, I think 4 or 5. So might be interested to check those out and see about them. It's kind of interesting stuff. I don't recommend any full belief in anything, but good to know kinds of stuff like that. But the picture on that first link that I posted, like it's like they showed the curvature of the Earth and then showed the hurricane. Like they couldn't have just showed the hurricane from space and we would have known it was coming from space. Like I don't see why they had to show the curvature of the Earth and then pan up to show you the hurricane. Like it doesn't make sense to me. So maybe they will say they were trying.
Good? I'm sure. Because it looks good. I mean, could it just be that simple? These are nice photographs.
Offer perspective, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were. I think they might have been trying to capture the whole photograph, which, again, kind of crazy that they don't have wide-angle lenses and things like that on the spaceship. But it's
Sometimes I do think photography, not because they lack a certain, lens. They're doing it for a perspective reason, which they may artificially limit themselves in some way. Or there's a lot to it. I don't know a lot about photography, but it's not. I don't think it's quite as simple as what you're describing. But and I don't think there's any rivalries so much. I would hope the people at NASA have a lot better to do with their time than
they do. They got to cover up all the aliens and all the other stuff, and that's a major focal point in that spirit science stuff. Is that aliens exist and they're here to help us, except for the ones that came from Mars. They were just kind of jerks, and they settled on Atlantis and took over, and we had to fight them, and it was kind of crazy. Martians, butts, man. Michael, it's just breaking. Michael.
If Martians came to Earth thousands of years ago, how in the world would we have defeated them?
We didn't have to defeat them. So apparently there's something called the Lucifer experiment, and like Jesus and Lucifer aren't like fighting battles or whatever. It's like Jesus is the aspect of unity and solidarity with the universe and like being at peace with everything, and Lucifer is like the strike out on your own, do whatever you want, and like
the word is solidarity, but anyway.
Both options of the spirit can do whatever it wants, because basically the spirit is quote unquote God, and the spirit can choose either to be one with the universe, so the Jesus side, or it can choose to strike out on its own and completely ignore the rest of the universe, and that's the Lucifer side. And apparently the Lucifer experiment is something that's been tried several times, and every time it fails, where they try to strike off on their own and manage themselves, and it ends up turning into world wars and battles, and like they basically, that's why the Martian landscape is barren now, is because they all killed each other off. But right before they killed each other off, they created something spear or orb or something that allows you to transport anywhere into the universe, and they decided to transport just one planet over. It landed on Atlantis.
I'm with Eric on this. Okay, the Sukalos guy or whatever, I can't pronounce his name, but that Greek guy with the crazy hair. Yeah, that's all I can think of when I hear when I hear you describing this, but especially with your mention of aliens. And
just watch that History of Humans video. It's actually quite interesting to think about. And
I'm scared now. I don't want to watch the video.
It's not like you'll like lose anything out of it. Maybe you'll laugh the entire time, but they do make interesting points throughout it. And it's the same way and my biggest thing was just that they're against NASA as well, and they think NASA is part of a huge cover-up to keep us from knowing these things. So, the other side of it that was kind of interesting that I just got into on one of their videos this past weekend was there's supposedly North American and the American continents are having a great generation of indies or something, that like you're supposed to be more awakened and more in tune with your senses and stuff like that. And on the other side of the world, they're supposed to have super psychics being born, and like they can like control everything with their mind and do whatever, just like they're in the fourth.
How about some semblance of reality in our conversation for this morning?
I know what I'm leaning back to is like that's why all of the myths and things coming from China are like people being able to fly and control things with their mind and have superpowers and like Dragon Ball Z style stuff and whatever. Like that's where all that stuff is coming from, is because
Wasn't Alf from Melmac?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Undertaker, for the reminder. Appreciate it. And yeah, I'm not an alien. What is that? That reminds me of something. There used to be.
Yes, I believe Future Tech Eric is an alien.
You would never know in our anonymous chat. Yes.
You don't have to
why
land on
there's
the
such-
sun if you are people of the sun.
Why do you think the Futures crew are such good techs?
Rage
And
dedicated a song to you, so.
why do you think they're such good techs? It's because they have access to alien technology and alien information and alien abilities. And that's why they know so much about the things that I like. Wow.
They've been sent
Michael-
here to help us navigate Microsoft Windows.
You wanted some reality? How's this for reality? And this started in the state that I'm living in, just about 20 minutes up the road. Yeah, I can send you the link, Quark. See, people want to know. People want to know. Have y'all heard about this clown thing going on
Oh yeah.
up and down the East Coast? So that started here in Greenville, South Carolina, and now it's spread all the way up to Ohio, New York, and Maine things. And apparently it's just people dressing up as creepy clowns and doing creepy things.
Creepy crowns?
Creepy clowns.
Creepy round?
Well, there have been several sightings near here, and the only one that when police are called, the only
Yeah.
one they've actually caught was a professional clown who was just doing his job.
Yeah. Well, and that's the weird thing. Like there was one right near Winston-Salem. Some girl, supposedly a clown, tried to lure her into the woods, and they had a knife. Like, I don't see how that works. Like,
Yeah. Guys,
she
you
was
do
starting to
know-
follow him into the
you
woods,
guys
and
know
then
that
noticed
Halloween-
the knife. Or
Halloween month just started, right? So of course there's going
this,
to be
yeah. But this has been
stories
happening
about-
for the
It's been
past
going on
month
for
and a half, 2
Yeah,
months.
a couple months or so.
Yeah.
All right, they're
This
building
is
up
brand
to it.
new.
They're building up to it.
It's also and there's also been talk about it being a publicity stunt because Stephen
Yes.
King's It remake is coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And-
exactly.
But I highly doubt that they would be doing a publicity.
Highly doubt that publicity stunts. I mean, there's been so super expensive even publicity stunts that have been done over the years. And you know, you never think about the negatives, but they're not always positive. I would just be careful. Just be careful.
I do like the fact that a lot of the
Capture
people.
one and study it. Capture one and study it. Okay, that's science.
I do like the fact that a lot of the people on that have been reporting on it and stuff, or like picking up things about it and adding into the report, is that there was an issue previously in another town where several home security cameras captured clowns just doing weird things, like coming up on their porch and just standing there, or just walking off and just looking at them eerily for a long time. But like they keep like cutting footage from that incident into this one, and I guess like they're just researching clown sightings, and that one happened like several years ago. So, are you trying to capture an alien and study it, or clowns? He was trying to capture the clowns because neither of those are Pokemon. Oh, well, more good news from Florida. Apparently, a girl was burned by an exploding vape on the Harry Potter ride. Say that
Ouch.
5 times fast.
How is that good news?
Yeah.
Well, it's coming out of Florida, so it could have been a lot worse.
No. Mm.
And it was kind of sarcastic because we've not been talking about good news, except for the Enlightenment stuff. But
Maybe that.
There's that.
Sarcasm's okay.
yeah. It may have been made by Samsung. We had to get a microwave because ours, Johnny was able to catch things on fire with it. And
Oh.
we were looking at the Samsung ones, and I was like, we probably shouldn't look at the Samsung microwaves. That's like just asking for trouble there. I was like, I can't believe they even have them in the store. Display models.
Small nuclear device.
Yeah. So Panasonic has a new TV that's see-through coming out. Isn't that cool? Invisible TV. You can have like it on a shelf, and you can have stuff behind it on the shelf, and then when you're not watching TV, the stuff in the shelf gets shown off instead.
Why? I just. How about if you?
I think
People
it's
like-
very cool.
Yeah, people
it's
like having
very
TVs
aesthetically pleasing there.
People like having TVs, but they don't like having them when they're not on. Like, there's all kinds of things where you can pull TVs out from the wall and flip them over to be mirrors.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to display things in my living room other than my TV, and it's like the TV is the centerpiece of my living room.
Yeah.
And I don't really want it to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. They talk about? They have any quotes in there on price or anything?
CyberCrypt said, great, now you can enjoy the dust on the back of your TV as well. It's just a prototype right now, so no pricing for it. It is still an interesting concept, and I believe it's the point of the prototype is that they can have a transparent TV that you don't have any guts behind it. The guts are on top and bottom and slide with it. So
It's thin and whatever out of the TV.
I mean, that's looking at now. You can have windows as TVs and things like that. But anyway,
Looks pretty cool to me.
I thought it was interesting. Another thing from Panasonic is they have a concept mirror that you look at, it finds flaws on your face and then prints makeup to fix it. That just sounds like terrible,
Sounds
but
like a slippery slope there.
yeah. But interesting idea. I like the idea of smart mirrors and those going forward. So
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
exactly. Having smart mirrors will be nice. So I thought it was interesting, although it kind of makes sense that Amazon Prime renewal will renew to any card that you have on your account. So just keep that in mind. Don't save cards to your account that you don't want Amazon charging to, because they will just charge to it if one of them fails for any reason. So like if you have one that's your primary and you expect to use for it and it's low balance or something or over credit or anything, they'll just jump on down to your next card and charge it there. It's kind of a little bit like maybe they should alert you first and then try to charge it, but I don't know.
You'd think so. I believe they do send you notifications prior to it being charged, don't they?
I don't know. I've never gotten an Amazon notification about my Prime renewal.
I don't remember.
Mirror, mirror, that would be a fantastic set of login credentials for a smart mirror. I wonder if someone's already. I wonder if Disney has that term copyrighted or not, because they would be the ones to make smart mirrors, you would think. Hey, Futures Tech crew, are y'all near the town or the city of Summit, New Jersey? Because apparently instead of parking, they're just going to give you Uber rides for free. So you can park somewhere super far away and be Ubered to where you actually wanted to park. And then that way they don't have to worry about parking in this town of Summit. Jesus. This stuff is making Michael upset this morning.
Guess so.
For all the Star Wars fans out there, there's now a bunch of Star Wars furniture. The only one that looks even remotely reasonable would be the desk and possibly the land speeder bed. The X-Wing bed, I don't understand at all. Like, why do you have an X-Wing cutting your bed in half? That's just weird. And the other one is just a freaking window. I don't see why that's such a big deal. But that TIE Fighter desk now, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I really like the TIE Fighter desk, but these things are like majorly overpriced.
Oh, I didn't even look at the prices. Oh!
Yeah.
Ouch!
Yeah, it's going to set you back, and I think they're pretty cheaply constructed, too.
$400 for that TIE Fighter desk? What was it, $900 for the beds?
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, I'd wanted to get my kids one of these. I'm like, no, I'm not paying that much for that.
Heck no. Jeez. And it looks like you could probably make it yourself pretty easy. Just get some welding skills there. So G-Hacks must have watched our KeePass show and been pretty interested in it because he's got a preview of KeePass 2.35 and it has some security improvements coming with it. Looks like they're going to update the file type and some other things with it, so could be interesting. But if you haven't seen it, we did a show on KeePass and setting it up and doing with it, and definitely recommend having a password manager out there. Very good for you. Oh, and speaking of exploding Samsung Galaxy Note 7s, this is why I love PC games over any console game, is because they come out with mods for them. Like being able to add a Galaxy Note 7 in GTA 5 that explodes. So probably they just replaced the sticky grenade or whatever with a Galaxy Note 5 image, and now you can have Galaxy Note 5s blowing up.
That's pretty cool.
GTA 5. Pretty awesome. So what else we got? Anyone have anything else that they want to talk about? Cool. So y'all can go park there and then be Ubered to there, or maybe if you go visit and you want to Uber or park or something. Yeah. Test it out. Let us know how it goes.
I got frustrated with some of your stories. I apologize if you guys had already talked about this, but I'm surprised you didn't. This was one of the few sort of tech the cool things that I saw, and I didn't know that there was this recording done by or this music recording that they did circa, like when Alan Turing was doing his thing. It's about 65 years ago, and it was recorded onto a weird acetate disc. Did you talk about this? It was a BBC story, of course.
I think we had briefly mentioned it in another show because it's been out for a long time. It took Slashshot a really long time to pick that up. But yeah, it was
made public in 2008. Yeah, but that was the unrestored. Apparently, this is
no, the restoring was completed almost a month ago, I want to say. But yeah, it was
I didn't hear it.
It was the first computer generated music ever created and saved, and they've just restored it. So it was made by someone fairly famous in the computer music generation stuff, I thought, as well. Did you not read that far into the article?
Hmm?
Did you not read who made the music that they recorded?
Oh yeah, it was a compilation of several things. You know, Britain's very you know, their theme music, whatever it is, God Save the Queen or whatnot. I don't know, was there somebody famous that actually did he
Well, someone that
conduct it,
was
or?
a big person in the computer generated music, like all the techno and all that stuff came off of like the back of that person is one of the.
Oh no, I didn't know that. I did not know that. No.
Well, anyway, here's a bowling ball cannon. If y'all ever wanted a bowling ball slingshot, they made one, and it's extremely destructive. That's the kind of bowling I like to see. I'd like to bowl like that. Just have slingshots set up at the end of the lane. Speaking of password managers, apparently there's password managers that don't store passwords. George Sprave. Yeah, maybe that was it. That does sound semi-familiar, maybe. Anyway, I'll post that link about the password manager while I look up that name and see if that was the one I was thinking of. I thought that was interesting, although the key to keep in mind there is another site is storing your data, even if it's not storing passwords. Like you have to enter in the site and it generates a password for you after you sign in. Kind of interesting concept, like it never actually stores passwords. It's all. Oh, the bowling ball guy is that. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, I haven't checked into his channel. I just thought the bowling ball thing was pretty cool.
Did you hear about this? I didn't know Best Buy sold recalled products.
Yeah, that's probably what the microwave we bought was.
Oh, you got it from there?
You better hope it wasn't recalled.
And they knowingly did 16 different products over a 5-year period from 2010 to 2015.
They continued to sell them after they were recalled?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they recalled them even and then sent them back out again. So it wasn't someone famous in the computer music industry. It was just someone famous in English computer science, mathematician, logician, cryptanalysis.
You mean Alan Turing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I already mentioned Turing. Yeah. No, he was behind it. Yeah, of course. It was recorded, I think, at his Bletchley Park, wasn't it? Or no?
I don't know. I pasted a link that has more description about that.
No, that's where he did all. Oh, well, that's where he did his government research. That may not have been where he was doing this, but
yeah, this came out September 26th. So it was a couple weeks ago. Last week.
it's not that long ago. But it sounded like it was months. But anyway,
it was last week ago. Still, Slashdot slacking, man. Hey, so everyone that's super excited about Google's thing today, they're doing a developer meeting and releasing a bunch of new products and stuff. Well, guess what? They were going to release the Pixel phone, but apparently another company beat them to the punch. Canadian Bell posted the Pixel phone by Google on their site this past Sunday, I think it was even. Yeah, Sunday night they posted the Google Pixel, the first phone to break the Nexus line, and it looks pretty dumb. I agree with the people on that article or the comments of that article that were like, why does it have this huge bezel and still have on-screen buttons? Doesn't make sense. Why isn't just the whole phone just a screen? Like, why do they have this huge bezel at the bottom that's not doing anything? That's pretty dumb.
Did you see that?
What?
So MIT has this cute little driving.
Oh yeah, if you choose whether the people in the car die or whether the
Yeah, but they have very specific scenarios on killing people and various types of people, and it's just a little weird. I'm wondering what they're going to use the data that comes out of this study for to suggest.
Well, I'd like to continue to talk about Google because it seems like they're going to go ahead and take a page out of the Microsoft playbook and fight against Amazon with it.
Oh,
so Google is going to
home. Google wants to rush into your home faster than Amazon or Microsoft. Yeah.
Well, to the point where they're saying if any of your products use Amazon Alexa, we're not going to allow you to use Google Cast.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, Google Cast. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. It's one of the. I mean, it's happened before, but it's one company attacking another company's products effectively, right?
Well, Amazon and Google have been doing that.
What are you talking about? Hacking their products?
Attacking, not hacking, but so if you bought two products, one from each manufacturer, they would work independently of each other, but not together on the same home network. That almost sounds like would overstep monopoly rules, but then again, we allow monopolies.
Well, no, this is like if you want to sell a laptop with Windows on it, then you can't sell a laptop that has Linux on it. Is the scenario here. So if they want to use Google Cast built into their the home speaker systems that are becoming so popular, the soundbar.
Oh yeah, they're not going to cast to the competitors' products. Yeah, I mean I can understand.
It's not the competitors' products. It's it's a third party, not Google or Amazon. If they want to integrate both Amazon and Google's products into their product, Google is saying nope, you have to pick one. Either you're going to do Google's and nothing else, or you're going to do Amazon's and you can do whatever you want. That's what I have an issue with, is that they're coming in and saying this third party over here that wants to add their product to their stuff is saying, nope, we're not going to allow that because you're in bed with Amazon as well, and we don't like that.
Well, I think the analogy would be better if you said that it's like Microsoft not allowing a company to sell a dual boot Windows and Linux computer would be a better analogy.
Same. Yeah, that's pretty much same. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's making sense to me. Maybe. It's same rationale though.
I don't think there's should be. I don't think that's an illegal practice or.
I don't think so either. I think it's just an evil practice.
I just don't like it. I mean, I like to have choices, but I really think it's the consumer's responsibility. If you want to be able to have those choices, you need to tell the manufacturer so they'll give you what you want or not buy their product.
But the manufacturer in this case can't do what you want because the product that you want to integrate is saying that it's only going to integrate with one itself.
Yeah.
That's where you're getting the turns here. What, Nick?
I said bye, Google.
Yeah, Google's starting to do evil, I feel. Like
they've been doing evil, I feel.
Yeah, their do no evil has been thrown out the window.
Yeah, it's all great until you start putting massive amounts of money in people's hands, and then they turn evil. It's all about greed.
Yeah, but I guess that's where I don't like it. Is like, so if I buy a TV, it's not Google TV, it's not Amazon TV, but the TV says it integrates with Google Cast, then I know it's not going to be able to integrate with Amazon Alexa and Fire TV stuff now. Is basically what's happening. So I can't go to the TV and say I want both of these because Google is over here saying, nope, if you want to do cast, that's all you're able to offer a TV person. And it makes it very difficult for everyone because they're just trying to fight a company. Like, I feel like if you're trying to fight a company, make a better product. Don't like attack the other company. That doesn't make sense. That only hurts other people. Like, now if I have my friends come over and they want to do something Amazon, they can't because I have a Google TV. It's kind of ridiculous, I feel.
Screw Google.
Screw them all.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brantley, but I guess the only way to fight it is if people just don't buy Google products.
Yeah. But if they all lean towards more Amazon and Alexa or Microsoft and Cortana and Siri and Apple, then Google will have to go that way. But I do have to say that Google is much smarter than Alexa. Like, you can ask Alexa things and she doesn't know the answer. You can ask OK Google things and it knows the answer. Or if it doesn't know the answer, it at least gives you areas to go look for the answer yourself. So I think they have a slight advantage over Amazon in that factor.
Well, they may, but they don't have, well, everything else that Amazon does. Like Google
the
Play,
product and so they're
you can't. I mean, you don't want to buy crap on Google Play. It's and you're already buying stuff on Amazon anyway. They got everything else, which has always made me uneasy about Amazon. But when it comes down to convenience, they beat you, Google.
very true. But and I guess that's why, like, maybe they should all be working together and they'll make more money that way. Like, if Amazon has Alexa and Echo market down pat, if Google offered, hey, we'll give you the back end of OK Google, they just have to say OK Google when they want to ask something that's a question about whatever's random. Like, instead of saying Alexa, you just have to say OK Google and it picks it up and does it. Amazon would still be making money off of the all of my devices are freaking out on me right now.
Are those yours?
Huh?
Oh no, wait, never mind. That's in here. Sorry.
Yeah. No, like, I keep saying OK Google and Alexa and things are picking up and yelling at me. But yeah, like, I would feel like Amazon would be able to sell a ton of Echoes that way, and it would be more beneficial to the consumer, and Google would have their naming out there as the search engine to be, because you'd be asking information with OK Google still, but they're always going to fight with each other. Anyway, that's another product that's supposed to come out today. That developer thing is the Google Home, which is the competitor to the Amazon Echo, which looks very tiny comparative to the Echo. So I feel like it's already not going to have the speaker performance and microphone performance of it. Hey, Phoenix has joined us as well, and points out a link about WikiLeaks and the Yahoo breach, and 4chan is taking money from Martin Shkreli.
So WikiLeaks was also questioned about the malware on their site, and they said it doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm beginning to the point where, while I'm generally pro, getting information out and transparency and all those things, Julian Assange is wacko. And WikiLeaks is, that's a site run like a wacko would run a site. Anyway, Yahoo data breach. I don't know why they keep is this a case where Yahoo's realized that maybe all publicity is good publicity? 1 billion users. But remember, you guys do know you're using Yahoo for your mail, so not been.
Well, I think the fact was
history of trust with their. I don't think, but their service. This is not the first time.
I think what they realized was the fact that, oh yeah, Yahoo Mail is also the backbone of this ISP that's a major ISP in Britain. So all of their email also got affected by this.
Yeah, it's those back end deals. I've always stayed away from ISP provided email services, frankly, and now I remember why. So let's see. Yeah, Yahoo Who is a good response to that. Sounds officially like a monopoly cork. Yeah, that's what we're saying. And 4chan, Martin Shkreli. I really okay. That jerk wants to help out. Of course he does, because he has money. But 4chan, they're out of money, and they're trying to, or they. I think they suggested several means by which they could, you know, correct it, and subscribers, malicious advertising was one of the methods. I think they potentially. But this was
You would
but
think
4chan
that
was.
Anonymous would be like stepping up and being like, oh yeah, we'll donate thousands of servers for you. Here you go.
Well,
You are our birthplace and all.
yeah, I was. That's where I was going with that. So what? What's this? Doesn't sound like the birthplace of Anonymous, basically, doing something like this. So maybe there's a reason Anonymous isn't hanging out in 4chan all the time. But
Modern Major Gen thanks you for the moral machine.
oh, the moral machine. Yes, yes, yes. That was the fun one of the day.
Yeah, Quark, it is about him just throwing money at the site, and it is good for the site, and it's good that they're taking money from him, so like he doesn't have that money anymore. But it's also bad because that means he's just going to jack up some medicine prices or something.
Nobody just takes a hit. Nobody just gives up money without anything in return. So it's there's some involvement. If I could guarantee that it was done, in an anti-method and sort of a sarcastic method, let's claim falsely that we need money and we don't actually, and maybe some rich donor jerk will come in and lend us a hand. I mean, sure, that may have been their game, but there's usually I don't want
somebody that's not a jerk
everything he touches.
And they're like, no,
he takes everything he touches. He taints everything he touches. So but then again, if they were mismanaged to this point of needing to have that help, then maybe that's what they deserve. So I don't know.
So we talked about it yesterday off the air, but on the air now, the DDoS that happened against Krebs Security, the person that did that and wrote the code to do that, released the source code to be able to do that yourself. And basically it takes about, you can end up pulling 300,000 IoT devices, although its ISPs have been shutting down and cleaning up their act. So it's dropping fast, but still, people now have the ability to do DDoSs with ease.
We talked about that briefly yesterday, as I recall. But that's
not on the air though, I don't think.
Oh, we didn't. Okay, but that's scary. I mean, what we saw when the source code was available for and for ransomware and what it did, and how quickly it exploded. When the educational ones, but basically source code for ransomware was delivered. That's how that, there's a whole wave of things that resulted from that. And if that's going to be the case, throw hands up in the air collectively, all network admins of the world.
Indeed. So Samsung is also predicting the SSD price collision is on the slate soon here.
Yeah.
So SSDs might become cheaper than HDDs, and I guess the price per gig Is that what they're looking at? Michael, you know more about that stuff than I do.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. And so the thing is, the so SSDs are getting to the point where they're saturating the market to the extent that consumers are actively going away from machines that don't have them, and they depend sort of on they're starting to get dependent upon that level of performance, and that's causing mass production of SSD devices to both meet the cell phone markets and the consumer electronics and everything else that we use flash technology in. Anyway, it's driving down the prices extremely rapidly, much more rapidly than the events that typically drive down prices in the mechanical hard drive market, and also the fact that the hard drive manufacturers now have to implement would generally be considered exotic manufacturing to produce their higher density platters and drive mechanics, including the use of helium and other exotic gases to keep the temperatures down and stability. Much more advanced error correction methods that they have to do on SSDs now as well, and it was oftentimes considered to be the SSD. Oh, they require error correction, so it's like something like a bad thing. But if you look conversely, and people say, "Oh, hard drives don't need all that," well, now they do, and so all these reasons are making hard drives actually more expensive and slowing down. There's just a natural progression and decrease in price that would normally occur, and so this has allowed the SSDs to kind of overtake. And Samsung being the largest SSD manufacturer in the world, well, one, they probably might be in the know on that. Two, they want that to be the case, so certainly they're going to say this, and they like this type of story. And the other thing is NVMe awareness. That's the new focus, and it's going to require much higher density chips to take advantage of that interface. And the higher density chips are another thing that drives down price dramatically. And you're starting to see the desire for consumers to have terabyte NVMe in an M2 socket, which I don't know if you've ever seen an M2 socket, but it makes or an M2 SSD, but it makes a 2.5-inch SATA SSD look like a mountain in comparison. So all these factors are causing this to occur, and you should be keenly aware of them because this is going to directly impact the price of certain things moving forward, particularly data centers that continue to rely upon hard drives as their most cost-effective. Traditional mechanical hard drives as their most cost-effective form of storage. I think you're going to start to see the places like whatever Backblaze or whoever those guys are. With their storage pods or whatever, you're gonna start to see them shift over more probably to SSDs as that time comes closer.
Cool. Well, also past weekend, the U.S. did do the internet handover to ICANN, despite many hurdles and roadblocks being put up in the way. Mainly political people that have no idea what they're doing or talking.
Thank you. Yes, that's another great one. That as I predicted, and I did predict this, that Friday, I believe, when we discussed it. If not earlier that week. That it wouldn't come to an end, and that's what they wanted. But the question is, will those lawmakers continue to complain about it now that it's come and passed, and all they claimed is
of course they will. Isn't that what they do?
Well, no, I think they're going to move on to something else and realize this was just a stupid red herring like everything else. I just hope that the public takes note of that, and particularly the party affiliations of these lawmakers that are pushing these types of crazy ideas and want to push fear and scare the public when we, if anything, need assuasion these days, because the world is a scary place, but it's not. I don't think, hopefully, on a fundamental level, it's not fundamentally worse than it had been at any other time. It just maybe seems that way at times, particularly in a politically heated season. So, maybe we should all calm down, take a collective sigh, and not rush to advertise gloom and doom. and
Well,
I should be less of a
not
commercial.
advertising gloom and doom. Bees have been placed on the endangered species list for the first time in the U.S. Not your regular everyday bees that we see here, though. They're a special 7 yellow-faced bee from the Haleus species, and they are mainly reside in Hawaii.
Bees have had a horrible time. I thought they were slightly recovering from the whatever the hive collapse thing. They were suffering from some sort of I don't know if it was infection or
They're still suffering from that.
they're still suffering from that. I thought that had turned.
They have no idea what it
stabilized.
is.
They
They
still
have
don't
no
know?
idea what it is. It's just the hives just collapse and they have to leave, and they have no idea what's going on or why. So, yeah, CCD, colony collapse disorder. Thank you, Court.
Yeah, it's sad though. What did bees ever do? They pollinate our plants. They basically,
It's more than sad, actually. It's
possible
pretty
and
bad.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
for the world, and it needs to be. We need to be fighting that, I believe, just as hard as we're fighting against global warming and other things.
Meanwhile, the state that I live in sprayed a pesticide that killed millions of bees to try to prevent the Zika virus just last month.
And none of this is related, right?
No, not at all.
Oh gosh.
Hey, so Linux distros out there.
Ooh.
Apparently, System D, which has been actually a bane of many in the Linux community, because it's been just taking over so many services and things that it's getting very, very too big for its britches, I feel. But apparently, System D has a critical bug that could bring the entire server or Linux system to its knees with just one command. So,
Awesome.
yeah. And this is what's going to happen as Linux starts to become more and more prevalent, is that you're going to find out it's not as secure. They were just obscure. And Michael and I talked about this yesterday as well, about the shadow brokers who are upset that they're not getting their $1 million for the tools that they just found on an old server.
Yeah, what happened now? What's the update?
Nothing. That's just the same thing. We didn't talk about it yesterday. We talked about it off air yesterday.
Oh, I'm so confused.
But
so now that let's to recap. They basically took, they obviously got access to it, but not through hacking in so much as through fault of the NSA people, NSA agents, I guess, involved.
Having
left something.
Yeah,
on a server or whatever, where it should have been. So at any rate, they get that, and then they're now putting it up for sale in the dark web, I guess, for what was it, $600 or $1 million, right?
$1 million.
And the dark web community has at best pledged $600K, and these guys are complaining that they're cheapskates and I guess some other things. Maybe you can shed some light on that part of it. But
that article I posted, Ken.
Okay. Well, at any rate,
they made a strange rambling post on Medium, and they explained the best offer has been around 1,082 in Bitcoin, which is about 650 in today's dollars, just over 650,000. So yeah, I just thought it was funny that they're. I would probably take the deal, guys. Go ahead. Someone offered you 650 for that. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
not going to be an easy 4-way $1 million split. You're not all going to get $250,000.
How often do you just walk down the street and look down and find, that golden coin that's worth $600,000, or right? That doesn't happen, that you just stumble upon something without doing any work on your own. Exactly what happened in this scenario, and I would be thanking. Be thankful every single day if I was able to get $600,000 for something like that. I just think that's crazy. Now, have you talked about the, speaking of hackers, have you talked about the DVR thing?
Huh?
Did you talk about the DVR thing with hacking? Okay, so
I like Quark's comment though, that they're surprised that people on the internet don't want to pay for things, especially on the dark web. Like most people wouldn't go after things.
So if you guys have a DVR, probably for security, as most of the computer shops and tech stores that we probably deal with around here, and you guys are dealing with in real time, real life, every day, you probably have a piece of this equipment or something similar, or may. I don't know. I shouldn't say probably, or without knowing you guys more closely. But just watch out. Every one of these connected devices, you need to consider its security the same way as you do every server you deploy, and every networking router and device and border device you have. Absolute security is a must, and these devices from the manufacturers don't take it into consideration at all. And in fact, you might even argue after looking at this that you might want to build your own solution for those types of things. But again, that's a little gloom and doom. It's a good article. It's a little bit short for ours one, but I still thought it was interesting. And it boils down to being default passwords and stuff like that on devices, and it's just all too common, and that crap is too easy to get out. How many pieces of ransomware have been cracked just because they used one key over and over and over again and hard coded it, and and maybe did light obfuscation on it. It's the same principle, and it doesn't work for them, and it doesn't work for these devices. And these are supposed to be security related devices. I want to reiterate that. Security related devices. You buy them to improve your security and sleep better at night, hopefully. And they should not be a cause for security concern. Yet they are. And the manufacturers need to be held accountable for that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to what Michael was saying.
Do you not think I have a relevant point?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Whatever you said.
Sure.
So we are at our hour time limit, and I'll go ahead and leave you with this last one thing for today. This guy, Tom Falks, was playing a game on Twitch and streaming it, and the developers of the game basically joined in and took over his game and started like doing all kinds of strange, fun things to the game while he was playing. And he had no idea what was going on. It lasts about 10 minutes, and they just do some weird things to the game while he's playing, and it's kind of interesting that the side of things that you don't think about playing online gaming nowadays is that there is someone that could just take over your stream and start doing things. They obviously didn't do anything malicious. They just wanted to have some fun with him and apparently liked his stream. So he enjoyed it as well and likes the game. It all turned out good, but I feel like you might want to consider that this is not just how it doesn't have to be good people that can do this. It could be very bad things that happen from that. So keep that in mind. But otherwise, I think we should go ahead and wrap up because we got some more heavy testing. We did a lot of shrapnel pulling from Crypto Prevent V8 yesterday, and we are testing the final measures of the updated, improved program filtering module based on D7X platform.
7X code, yeah, that's been immensely improved over the past week or so, and that's looking great. I think that's a good example of what's to come with D7X in general.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to get back to work on that. Otherwise, thanks everyone for joining us and watching. Always a pleasure to interact with all of you. And we will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Again, if you do have any questions about our products and services, that's what we're mainly here for. But otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Take us on out, number one.